Welcome to Where Cat Roams. In this episode, we're hitting the road for an incredible journey to New Orleans. You can check out our New Orleans playlist to see all the sights, amazing food, and several historical stops that we made. And now for the main event. We archived over 2,000 pictures and videos from New Orleans' #1 attraction, the National World War II Museum. Join us for the venture. Enjoy the video. I was really excited to head on over to Mother's Restaurant, a true staple in New Orleans. Stay tuned later on for a little more of a description on the history of the restaurant, but let's go ahead and head on inside. Now they have an amazing buffet here. You can get in line for the buffet or you can order from the menu. It's always busy whenever I have been there, and they even serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Check out some shots of the food that I had when I was there. Now, one of the highlights of this restaurant that makes it unique is there is artwork and picture all over the restaurant from the history.
During and after World War II, Mother's became a local hangout for the few and the proud, the U.S. Marine Corps. The Marine spirit was in the family. 5 of the 7 Landry children, 5 sons and 2 daughters, joined the Marine Corps. Frances Landry was the first woman in Louisiana to be accepted into the Corps. This special association with the Marines earned Mother's the title of TUN Tavern New Orleans in the late 60s. The original TUN Tavern was the official birthplace of the Marines during the Revolutionary War. Mother's is not just a part of this great American tradition, but also stands as a uniquely New Orleans institution.
Tell us, Charles, how did you get to Mother's Restaurant?
Well, thank you again for taking an interest in Mother's Restaurant. We appreciate your support. I used to work with Mr. Jerry, who was the co-owner and chef until he passed. At another property, and I came over here with him when he bought the restaurant, and I had been associated with Mother's on and off since 1986. And I say on and off because there were years when they needed promotion, and then there was at a point where they started to get popular and get busy. They didn't really need any support, and I would drift off to other projects, and then they would call me as they needed something and call me if they needed something. And that continued for decades, really. I would always come back. And then at the time of the BP oil spill, which polluted a lot of the Gulf with oil, the Gulf of Mexico, they asked me to come back again to get involved. And so I started off then. And then one day I walked in here and Mr. Jerry said, "Charles, what is the Facebook?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "What is the Facebook? All of our customers are asking if Mother's is on the Facebook." So the rest is history. I've been back since then.
Wow.
That's been over 10 years.
Wonderful. We got to hear the story of the history, and also the website has awesome material too. Tell me about some of your highlighted memories.
Well, I think it's one of the keys to understanding Mother's is to understand that the founders, Simon and Mary Landry, who opened the restaurant in 1938, had many children, and their children were all service members during World War II. And so that sort of automatically made Mother a military-oriented restaurant because they were veterans, and they did need to entertain the brass and their military friends and other people that were passing through New Orleans. And so they fed them, which is a great way to spread fellowship. Um, and then people would, over time, give us photos and things, from their visits. And I have to laugh because it sounds all so serious. But like I told you earlier, what they really did was they would close the doors, walk up, and sit around and drink beer. And you might say BS, if you know what I'm talking about. And they were characters, okay? There's a bell behind the line that's still up on the wall, and whenever somebody would do something silly or stupid or make a mistake or drop a plate, they would ring the bell. They used to, they were military guys. They were blue collar guys from World War II era. They would have employees, et cetera, that were coming in and out, and they knew they would send them on a delivery, and then they would wait for them on the balcony with a bucket of water. And they would come back to the restaurant. They would pour a bucket of water on their head, or sometimes they would send flowers to some of them to taunt them and tell them it was from a secret admirer. Or when the Clydesdales horses came to town for Mardi Gras with the Budweiser, the beer distributor brought the Clydesdale horses over to the restaurant, and we have a photo of the Clydesdale horses standing in the doorway, and they were feeding it carrots. So we've heard a lot of shenanigans over the years. I think they were very, very playful. Well, of course, they were respectful of their military tradition, but yet they were pranksters. There's no doubt about it.
All right. Tell us your name and what you do here for us.
Marvin Gash is my name, and I'm the general manager.
Okay. How did you come to work here at Mother's?
Oh, goodness. I've been here over 20 years. I met the owner through a chef I was working with, and he was twisting my arm to come work for him, and begged and pleaded me, and finally one day called me and said, "What's it going to take to get you here?" So came to an agreement, and I've been in with him for forever.
Awesome.
He made me feel like part of his family. I mean, he really did take good care of me. His quality of way he prepared his food. He really had a deep care for the employees and everybody that worked there.
So can you tell us just one maybe fun? I know there's probably a ton, but a fun memory.
Fun memory, probably meeting some of the stars that have come in, but after Katrina, meeting the people that came in, all the military people, that was just exciting.
Yeah. Wow.
The next time you're in town, stop by and show your support. You can scan the QR code for more details.
A little bit about me. I'm a solo traveler, currently doing my Master's of Military History at the Citadel Military College. You can follow my history documentaries at Where History Roams. I'm on a 2-year journey to go across the United States on Amtrak by the end of 2027. Amtrak operates a total of 30 train routes that connects over 500 destinations across 46 states and parts of Canada. The red is all the Amtrak rails that I'll be taking the next 2 years. I'll be documenting updates on historical train stops and travel along the tracks. Join our journey at Where That Roams on Facebook and YouTube.